Hey y'all, been a minute since I've been on here, but it's March 27th, I think, North Carolina. Beautiful day. It's been in the 70s, and I want to talk to you about the KX040, Kubota KX040. You can see it here behind me. So I just got this machine last week. This has been in the works for quite some time. I have spent, not really, no, spent maybe is the wrong word. I wasn't ready to buy it until recently, but I did know that I wanted one for a very long time. So I've spent over a year and a half wishing and wanting and researching and reading, trying to figure out what makes the most sense for me on my farm. If you watch my channel, you know I have a small horse farm, but it's relatively new. It's about 6 years old, 7 years old now. And so there are still some projects around here that need a lot of attention, and some maintenance and pastures and paddocks and dry lots and drainage and different things that I find myself needing a mini excavator for, versus having to pay somebody to come out and do these things all the time, which, yeah, I know financially maybe it makes sense, maybe it doesn't to do that, but there's something to having the equipment on your farm when you need it and not having to wait on somebody else to do something all the time. And that sounds spoiled, and maybe it is a little bit, but that's kind of the preference I have here. So we'll look a little bit. I'll tell you what I got. So again, a 23. If you don't know much about the KX040, and it is the -4, that's the current model. It's a 40 horsepower. The breakout force for the bucket is just shy of 10,000 pounds. I want to say it's 9,600 pounds. When I was looking at this, I was considering a KX057-5. That's the new version. I think it's been out for a couple years, and I'm gonna tell you that's an awesome excavator. I like it. I like it quite a bit. It is it's expensive. That's one of the main reasons that I didn't get it. This is about a 10,000 pound machine. The 057 is, I believe, a 13,000 pound machine. This one has about a 5.5 foot wide stance. The KX, I believe, is about 6'8". Don't hold me to that specifically, but so quite a bit wider, quite a bit heavier. One of the interesting things about that, if you're trailering, if you have a standard what I call a standard trailer, it's a tandem axle, 2 axles, single wheel. Typically you'll see those gooseneck, flatbed gooseneck, because that's what I'm going to use. Typically you'll see those have a weight limit of around 10,000 pounds, not the GVWR. Don't be confused by that, as many people are. The GVWR will be around 15,000, 16,000 pounds. That's the total weight of the trailer. You have to back out the weight of the trailer from the GVWR. That's your hauling capacity. Probably just insulted a lot of people's intelligence, didn't mean to, not everybody knows. So those trailers, again, you can haul about 10,000 pounds, so you're right on the edge, which is really something else I don't like, but so you can haul this on a single wheel tandem with about a 10,000 pound rating. And as you know, the trailers like that, just take a PJ for example, a trailer like that today that's about 26 feet long with a few accessories, that's about a $12,000, $13,000 trailer. If you get that 057 Kubota, which again is a fantastic machine, I like it, you're going to have a dual wheel tandem, so 8 wheels. That's going to be about a 25,000 GVWR. It will haul about 18,000 pounds. Trailer weighs about 7. That's about a $20,000 trailer. I've been looking at PJs. It's awesome. I'd love to have one. That's about a 30-foot trailer, because then you can put, when I say put whatever I want, I'm never going to put anything over that weight limit, 18,000 pounds on it. So I'd like to have it. But anyway, I'm going on about trailers. Just know that got cut off there. That's what you're looking at when you are checking out trailers. So it's a decision. Maybe it's not the guiding decision, maybe for some people it is, but for me it was a consideration. So anyway, here we are. So again, 10,000 pound machine, 40 horsepower, just under 10,000 pounds of breakout force on the bucket. I find that the excavator has quite a bit of power for a small machine. I got a 24-inch bucket, digging bucket. I got a 36-inch grading bucket, and over there where all my other junk is, there's a 12-inch digging bucket or trenching bucket, because I do have some trenching around here I want to do a few projects in the future. Got the thumb, hydraulic thumb. I'm happy with the thumb. I was a little nervous about it in terms of the speed that the thumb would close. You can adjust that on the excavator. So when you go into the little panel in there, it's pretty easy. You can control that flow rate. I'll tell you, the thumb closes plenty fast enough for me. It probably has about a 1.5 2 second cycle time from fully open to fully closed. Probably 1 second. It's fast. Anyway, so I did not get the 6-way blade. I had the angle blade. So it is a hydraulic blade. Obviously it raises and lowers, and it will pitch or move like that. So you know, 2 axes of adjustment there. But I like it. 6-way blade would have been fine. If this one I bought on the lot. So if it had a 6-way blade, it wouldn't have stopped me. I would have paid the little extra or quite a bit extra and picked it up. It might be nice to have. If you're pointing a ditch or something like that, I could probably find some use for it. But lights on this excavator are fantastic. Now granted, this is my first excavator, so I don't have a lot to compare to. I read some about them. They're LED lights, and they're very bright. So if you're working at night for whatever reason with this, you're gonna be in good shape. Walk around here just a little bit. 16-gallon fuel tank. It does have this feature, so you can actually push this button, and when you and it activates a little sound, audible feedback. So as the tank is filling, the beeps increase. Beep 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 beep. You know, that sounded awful, but the beeps get closer in interval, and you know that you're almost to the top, so you don't overflow. So I mean, that's whatever. That's a pretty nice little feature, I guess. We'll look here at the engine. So as you can imagine, like with all excavators, the engine is just piled in there. Cool thing you can get to, I guess, filters, fuel filter, oil filter. All these things are relatively easy to get to for your daily service checks, as well as your maintenance work that you're going to have to do. Oil, everything's pretty easy to reach. So I'm, you know, I guess whatever with that, I'm pretty pleased about that. And then back over here to the hydraulic side. You know, if you're new to excavators, if you're not, whatever. But again, I'm new. You got a little oil sight glass here. I'm of course nervous with all these hydraulic connections and being a new piece of equipment that something is going to leak. So I keep my eye on it quite often as I'm running the machine. I think I have about 6 hours on it. So, excuse me, not that much time on it yet. I'm going to close this down. So just continuing to move around. Obviously I've had it in the slop a little bit today. I've been again working in my horse pasture where I keep hay, or where I feed hay over the winter. That hay gets with horse poop, turns into a mess, so I scrape that off, pile it up, take it, haul it off, put it somewhere else on the farm. But anyway, if you want to look at this 36-inch bucket, tell you what I did here. All 3 of my buckets came from USA Attachments. That's a North Carolina company. They're made in North Carolina, fabricated in North Carolina. I was gonna get Kubota buckets. I'd already priced them, and I bought from Linder Kubota in Burlington, North Carolina. So good guy there, salesman there. He's like, hey, we have USA attachment buckets. We have all these things too. He said maybe you should look at them if you're not, you know, if you're not in love with Kubota stuff or just have to have it. They can be a little bit cheaper, and people have had good luck out of them. So I did so. So across my 3 buckets, I believe it saved me about $1,300 in Kubota versus buying USA attachment buckets. So I'm sure people have varying opinions about that, but for me, this is going to be relatively light use, and so I would imagine the USA buckets are going to be just fine. If not, lesson learned, and I'll move on next time. But so far I've been happy with them. I do have the mechanical quick connect, so you can see here that this joint goes into this little C that sits here like this. You curl the bucket all the way, you extend the bucket all the way out, so you've rolled it all the way out, and then you have those little points, they seat right here, and then you close the bucket and it comes around and the other base goes there. You curl it all the way up, pick the bucket up off the ground, throw your pin in, and you go away. It takes you a couple minutes to do. It's really not bad. I mean, there's some options out there for those, man, I can't remember what they're called right now, but where you don't have to get out of the cab to drop a bucket or swap a bucket out. And, you know, I guess if that's what you're doing this is what you're doing for your income, and maybe that makes sense. But for me around here, I can change buckets in a couple minutes. That's not a big deal. So So that's what I went with. I think that was, you know, it costs a little money to get that mechanical quick connect, but I didn't mind that. I don't want to be driving pins out and all that stuff, so I'm happy with that. Here, I'll jump in the cab real quick. Now, those of you that know me, I'm not a big dude. I'm 5'8", and as you can see in this cab, I don't know that it's really made for huge people. I have enough room. I'm gonna hop up in here now, and to being honest, I do have the seat pulled up a little bit because that worked better with my hand position on the joysticks. So hopping up in here, I'll energize the panel or the excavator so you can see. But so the panel is nothing fancy, basic functions. You can cycle through, see your RPMs, different things, maintenance intervals. You activate the thumb here. Oh, put my lever down. So you can, that's how you activate your thumb. You do have to do that every time you jump in and out of the excavator. If you put it in, you know, if you raise your safety up over here, you put it back down, you have to hit that button. No big deal, works okay. Really good visibility out of the cab. I know sometimes people will complain about Kubotas in terms of not being a luxurious cab. And to be honest, I don't expect luxury in this. I just expect basic comfort and good functionality. So the good functionality comes in over here on this side. So these are obviously your throttle, AC, economy mode. We can talk about that. You can interrupt the regeneration if you'd like. That's really something I never do. Light switch. I did, Kubota dealership did put that nice radio in for me. Radio works good and sounds good. It has a couple speakers here behind your head. I'll tell you that my John Deere tractor costs quite a bit more than this, and it has a crappy radio, my 5075M. This has a very nice radio, nice speakers. I'm pleased. This is just a little cell phone holder, $10 off Amazon, because if you're like me and your wife texts you and you're out in the excavator and you don't respond, that leads to undesirable outcomes. But so basic controls. This operates your thumb. This is your blade control. This rocker switch here is, of course, the angle for the blade. You have a 2-speed control. This is a 2-speed excavator, so just under, sorry, I don't think I've shown you that. So this is the rocker switch for the blade, rocker switch for the thumb, 2-speed control button under here. What else? I mean, that's, you know, that's pretty much it. Like I said, it is a basic machine. If I can get out and not fall. Again, I just have a few hours on this. I've owned it a week. A little bit of farming stuff, gotten it dirty, but it is very smooth. It is very quiet. I was really surprised at how quiet this machine is. I'll tell you what, I will start it and maybe you can hear it. Here we go. And the door's open in the cab. I know sometimes in these videos it doesn't really help. It doesn't show you a whole lot, or you can't hear much from it, but it is a quiet machine. I'm gonna step around outside with it running. Very quiet. So that's my initial thing with this KX040-4. It so far, again, I'm happy. I'm very happy. I plan on putting quite a few hours on it coming here. I've got some grading projects for a new pasture, things that are underway. Gonna hopefully be using it quite a bit, so I will be posting updates as I go along and put more hours on the machine. There are a few people out there that have done videos on KX040s that they're okay. A lot of them, I mean, these nice guys, I'm not saying anything bad about them. They didn't really help me make my decision. And maybe, you know, my decision point is unique because I'm back and forth looking at the 40 versus the 57, trying to justify the additional money that the 57 was, which was about $20,000 more, versus the 40. Was that wasteful? Did I need it? Would I regret the 40? one thing I will tell you, and I'm a novice with an excavator, but that machine feels to me initially like it could have a little bit more of a wider stance and more weight. But that, I shouldn't have even really said that, because, you know, if that's my preference, I should have gotten a 57, right? I mean, if I wanted something with a little more oomph to it and wider stance, I should have got the 57. So you know, I know what I got, I guess, with the 40, but so I retract that remark. Shouldn't have even said it. You put the blade down and you're digging from the front, it is not a tipsy, bouncy type machine. If you've got that boom out over the side, you have to be careful. You can grab something or pick something up, and things can get interesting pretty quick. But you know, I just have to learn the machine and know its limitations. And again, I think for what I use it for around here, light duty stuff, it's going to be just fine. So more to come on this as we get down the road, and I will be doing an update as well. The two other pieces of equipment that y'all have seen from me over the years, my 5075M that's sitting in the shop over there, and the New Holland C232, and the E12 rotary wing 12-foot bat wing is sitting there, getting ready to come out of mothballs for some pasture maintenance. So I'll be talking about all these in the coming months, giving you updates now that this equipment has aged around here a little bit, and let you know what issues I've had and what I've liked and what I haven't. And again, my reviews are primarily focused for people that are just kind of nerds about me, or nerds like me and like equipment, or they're trying to make a decision and they're looking, you're looking for a video that can help guide that. And as always, my email is in the bottom there. Feel free to email, reach out with questions, throw it in the comment section, and I'll do my best to respond and help you out. A lot of people did that for me, and I appreciate it. So thanks for watching.